Hey everyone, it's Dr. Detroit here, the doctor is in, and welcome back to our F1 2023 Career Mode Abridged. Today, it's the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. I feel like this is the race that we keep doing because when we were ending the F1 21 series, we went to Saudi Arabia, dominated there, then we did Saudi Arabia again, now here we are again doing this. As you know, from the last episode, we dominated big time in Bahrain. Also got a double podium for the Ferraris, which is awesome. And as you can see, we have a couple of new things coming on the car, which is going to mostly be gearbox related, as well as also some cockpit weight reduction as well. You'll see up there, we don't really have too many resource points right now. That's because I spent quite a few of them off camera to basically get all this stuff taken care of. But right now, our performance, as you can see here, currently we are still the second best team despite the fact that we were pretty fast. We still got to get some chassis upgrades and we still got to get some other stuff, but in the powertrain we are definitely ahead of the game, which is really good. You can see here some of the stuff that we are currently working on right now. And you'll see that the majority of these will be placed on the car here very soon. Our engine is still pretty good. As you can see, the overall wear is fine. And you can see here in the standings that we currently have a huge lead on the Red Bull team in the Constructors' title. And you can see we only have an 8-point advantage ahead of Max Verstappen with my teammate Charles Leclerc not too far away from him. So this is going to be great for the rest of the year. In fact, let me go back over here to the standings so I can show you where we're going to after Saudi Arabia. So after Saudi Arabia, it's off to the newer track in Miami. Then we'll head to Spain, then Canada, and then we'll head to the Red Bull Ring, which should be a lot of fun. And then you can see the beautiful races that we have coming up, including Abu Dhabi, which will be happening much later down the road. Alright, let's go ahead and advance the time and make sure that everything comes together. And it looks like we got a Pirelli hot lap that we're going to be doing. Yep, sharing the love.
Okay, we've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
Alright, so the Pirelli hot lap, as some of you may or may not remember, we did this very briefly in the first part, but what it is that they slap you into a random like supercar, like a random sports car, and you have to basically complete a little hot lap or basically beat the average mile-an-hour zone. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'll show it on camera, because why the hell not? Alright. So here we are at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix racetrack. We'll see, I forget exactly which sector it's going to be. I think it's this one. So as you can see, we have 3 rounds. We'll be in the McLaren 720S. And as you can see, the challenge targets, we need to be above 98 miles an hour average to get gold. So if you're ready and you look ready, let's complete it. Also, if I remember correctly, the brakes on these things are really tricky too. So let's see what we can do. Here we go. Man, the thing has just got a bit of tightness there. Like it's really aero-tight. But let's see how we do here as we come off the corner. There's a straightaway. Not quite to the gold. But hey, we got a silver on that one. Yeah, look at that. We were just a little bit short. But hey, we got 2 more rounds to fix that. So here we go. Let's see if we can try this again. I'm gonna try entering in on a bigger arc, maybe. See if we can keep everything going here. Okay. Ooh, broke a little late there, so that might screw us over. Here we go. Ah, the car just will not. Man, the car just doesn't grip. So this one, this one's going to be a little worse. Let's see if we can get this a little bit higher. Oh! Look at that. We got it right at the end. Just barely. Alright, one more attempt. And let's see if we can get a gold on this. So this would be like a silver, gold, gold. but let's make sure that we don't screw up the arc again. Here we go. Easy. Easy does it. See, nice and easy down here. Then hard on the gas. Come on, baby. There you go. Man, this thing just did not want to get going at all. Let's see what happens here. Is it going to be close? Oh, wow. We had to hit the wall there, but we got the gold. Phew. Thank the Lord in heaven. So yeah, look at that. Not too bad. So, so we only got the gold in round number 2, but at least we did pretty good. Look at that, pretty consistent. So we get some acclaim added to our total, which is great news. So now back to the HQ so we can get this all taken care of again. Because next up is going to be qualifying to get, or basically qualifying to get into this thing, and then we'll get the race going. Which, by the way, too, I'm glad that you guys are really enjoying these races. If you want to see more of these, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to comment and also subscribe. Anyway, let me go get this car tested and R&D'd and qualified, and then I'll meet you guys on the grid momentarily, and we'll get the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix started, and then hopefully we don't have to see Saudi Arabia again for a long time.
We're here today on the shores of the Red Sea in the lower Hijaz Mountains to visit one of the newest circuits on the Formula One calendar. We're in Jeddah, home to what we all hope is going to be a thrilling Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and starting next to them is George Russell. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Norris, the scientist, Perez, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Ocon, Bottas, Oscar Piastri, Stroll, Joe, Ricciardo, Albon, Hülkenberg, Tsunoda, Sargent, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. Anthony Davidson will be sharing his insight alongside me once again today. What should we be looking out for, Ant? Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen?
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? And let's see who's able to keep their tyres in that temperature sweet spot early on. You've got a great tyre warmer underneath your right foot, and the drivers need to make the most of that on the formation lap, lest they see themselves skating wide at turn 1 on cold rubber.
Okay, we've got that relief of having points on the board finally, so let's keep that form up and get another top 10 finish today, please.
Oh, I'm going to be gunning for something more than the top 10. As you saw, we qualified 5th for this race. We had a little trouble in qualifying, but we should be pretty good. Now, you can see that the strategy is going to be calling for a one-stop race again. It's going to be a 25-lap race, so a little shorter than what we had. Sure, Max Verstappen's, up at the front, but we should be really good, because if we're not at the front, we can at least get some good points, because we know we need to get some good points here before we head to Miami. The car felt really nice, except it was a little bit loose in certain ends, so I had to add more downforce to it to kind of help it out. But we're going to see if we can do it. So if you're ready, and you look ready, then let's do it to it. So now we're going to be rolling off the grid here in a sec to do our formation lap. We're underway now.
Okay, so everything looks good on the power unit cycles, so let's concentrate on bringing tyres and brakes up to temperature.
Be really careful there of Lando Norris. It's very difficult to get around these different things, but you can see that we need to get around the car of Leclerc, or of Norris, are also our teammates. So we're kind of back here in some slightly unfamiliar territory, but we've started back here before and have won from here before as well.
We're not expecting any changes to the weather today. It should be dry throughout.
Of course, because it's the Middle East. Anyway, let's just focus on getting the car warmed up and everything and getting it all together. You can see Perez is starting way back here in the 6th position. Lando Norris, the big surprise. But how about George Russell starting in 2nd? The Butler is going to be, once again, maybe a 4 in our side, but could also be really good. Now, with Max Verstappen in the front, we're going to need to beat him at all costs, because the next race is at Miami. I don't really have too much confidence in Miami, but we'll have to see how this goes. Let's see how it all unfolds from here. But I do feel like we have a really good car. The setup is also really good too. So I think this is going to be a fun. Saudi Arabian GP. Just got to stay out of trouble. You can see that there's a couple of cars here that have decided to go with the alternate strategy, so that might actually help us a little bit. But we'll have to see how this all plays out over these next 25 laps. And I'm glad that you guys are tuned in to see this and hopefully see history in the making. Now let's see if we can get lined up here on the grid. Let's see if we can do some overtaking immediately. Just gotta be careful with our teammate and gotta be careful not to mess things up too much. Anyway, we're coming really slow here. Perez is trying to pass us, as now everybody is about to get into their spots. So we can make it here. There we go.
Okay, incredible parking there. Nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get a good launch as the race starts.
Oh, I think we're going to get a good launch.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid...
Right now. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights! And it's go! 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 Man, it felt like we were there for like a ton of time right there. Max Verstappen to the lead. Here comes Lando Norris to the inside of George Russell. Charles Leclerc and I make contact as we make our way for the first 2 turns. But George Russell's going to say, no way, Jose. So he's going to keep Lando Norris right behind him, and now we're up into the 4th position. To make our way through these snaky turns as we try to get some heat in the tires, and we also are trying to keep ourselves, nice and easy and tucked up here behind everybody else. Just got to be really careful as we make our way down the straightaway and now into the big sweeping left-hander up here. I don't even know which turn number this is, but let's see if we can do something here and try to get around Lando Norris and try to get around George Russell.
All right, let's focus now for the rest of the race.
Yeah, I know, buddy. And that's what we're doing. See, right there is where we have a big problem, and car got wicked loose there. Of course, the DRS will be enabled here very soon, so we should be able to catch these guys. As right now, my teammate Charles Leclerc is tucked up right behind me, trying to make something happen with that. But I think right now he and I are just going to have to just hang out here for a little bit. But we also got to continue to push really hard here on these first few laps. Now we're going to come down this big old area, and then into the corner we must go down the way, and now we can use a little bit of the the overtake. The DRS will be enabled the next lap, I believe. Right now, Max Verstappen has the fastest lap, but let's see if we can't use a little bit of that to catch up to the back end of Lando Norris and these guys. You can see we've now caught up to them, but because of the fact that the tires are still a little bit green right now, it's a little bit tricky to catch these guys. We also are trying really hard not to ram into the back of any of these cars, and that's what really screwed us over. We are doing a flashback there because I don't know why that happened. If I remember correctly, that I believe is our first flashback of the racing season. Alright, now let's try and be a bit more cautious here. And again, we're gonna do that because that is not good. I don't know why the rear end keeps doing that. It's almost as if the rear end just doesn't want to play nice with us. Okay, now can we get through these next few corners? Yes, we can. Ah! Oh no! Not again! Really? This is one of the reasons why I hate this game, is that I don't understand why they feel the need to, like, you know... In fact, somebody in the comments section, can they tell me, please, how to get rid of the looseness out of the rear end of this car? Because, my god. I don't remember these F1 cars being that loose in the rear end. And if it's because of the low downforce, then F1 needs to do something about that to help us out a little bit. Man, they are really going off to a big lead here. So right now, we're currently hanging out in the 4th position after we bonsai'd our teammate Leclerc, and we actually got a really good start on everybody at the start, but we just couldn't do anything because there was just traffic among everything. So we can get closer to these guys by using the overtake a little bit. We're using a lot of this during the race, I feel like. Now we can also bonsai them on pit road, so maybe that's where we might make our overtakes, is over there on the pit stops, unless we can really keep it up with everybody. Now we'll just use some more of our overtake to try and get as close as we can. But now George Russell gets it. Oh, look at the dive bomb that we're going to make here. Wow! Look at that. Through we go. Look at that. That was an impressive pass right there on Lando Norris. You know, yeah, definitely down in the comment section. Please tell me how to get rid of that looseness in the car, because it feels like that's all this rear end can do. I mean, we were good with it in the last race. Wow. You know, if we spin out again, I'm probably just gonna cut to the end of the race. But let's not spin out again. Probably when we get on the hard tires, we'll be a little bit better, I guess, but who knows. It also could be the fact that it's nighttime. Seriously? This is like so many times that we've had to use a flashback here, and the car just keeps getting loose no matter what, and I'm really getting sick of that. I mean, can't we just do a race where the car just doesn't get loose on us like that? I mean, we were doing fine in practice. Let's just focus here on trying to get back up with these guys. I know that we're not going to get the fastest lap this time around!
Okay, listen, don't worry about it, mate. Wow, that was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
Wow. Are you fucking me right now? It just got loose on me again. This is like... I think this game just doesn't want me to win here at Saudi Arabia. It's like the car just doesn't want to turn, or it just wants to just go all loose. Oh my god! I just realized that we used up all our overtake. Ooh, that's bad. That's really bad. We're gonna need a little bit of help here, as suddenly we get a huge hit from Lando Norris, which means he's gonna have DRS for sure. Let's see if we can't do something about this. We're gonna have to. You know what we're gonna have to do? We can't really defend. We're just gonna have to.
Okay, gap ahead is 2.3 seconds.
I think what we're going to have to do is that we're just going to have to play it cool here and just be right back in here in second. Oh wait, third. I was looking at the purple thing because we usually are the ones that are the fastest, but then when we get on the other tires and everything, we'll be okay. So let's just get into a rhythm here. And they'll slowly start coming to us. We gotta rebuild a bunch of our overtake, too. So yeah, this is one of those... There's a
new strat.
You know, sometimes it doesn't pay to get out of bed. Especially with this kind of shitty setup especially with this shitty thing that F1 2023 does. Alright, now, come on. It keeps bringing up a little panel there, but we don't need that right now. Right now we've lost a good bit of seconds there because of the looseness and because of what just happened. We're going to have to see if we can make it back up again here in Sector 1. Or one of the other sectors, and we did go a little bit faster. So if we go green or purple in this next one, we could have something, as now George Russell has now tried to make the pass on Max Verstappen for the race lead. Can't get it done. But they're going to have a little scrap up at the front, which will give us a little extra boost, but let's see how the fastest lap comes out to us.
Drivers just moved into first place.
Yeah, no, and George Russell has now gone up. No, they're still going through there. Unfortunately, that last sector killed our momentum. So Max Verstappen continues to lead, but we are not too far behind these two. Now, here's the thing. If Verstappen wins and gets the fastest lap award, we will for sure lose points. But because we're right here in third place, we won't... Yeah, I'm taking some massive hits there. But, like I said, this track is very, very tricky, and I don't understand why. I think some of it could be because of the fact that this game decided that there's no such thing as rear downforce, which is something that I'm going to have to really work with, especially when we go to Miami, because Miami is another street course. Anyway, we're slowly getting back our overtake, which is good. We'll go ahead and use a little bit there, just to kind of give us a nice little boost. This is definitely one of those races where it's like concentration is very tricky. In fact, I can't even see where my teammate is back in 5th right now. I know that Sergio Perez is slowly going to be starting to close the gap. In fact, there he is right there, but let's use some of our overtake again. See if we can't do something. And boy, I didn't realize that we were that low on the overtake.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 1.6 seconds.
Well, we're slowly closing in on George Russell and Max Verstappen, but because of the fact that we keep losing the rear end like that, no matter how much I put any gas into it, it is certainly being a bitch. So hopefully when we get on the hard tires that the looseness will go away. Because I did practice with the hard tires. And the car felt really good, but right now this thing is just all over the damn joint. We're starting to close in on George Russell, which is good. It's a good thing here. But we need more of our overtake to really do some damage. So I gotta wait until that, builds back up. But right now, I also have seen that we're about to be attacked by Sergio Perez. He's gonna really throw a monkey wrench in all this. Now let's see what happens as we make our way into the corner. We're able to take that corner a little bit better. And not just him, but he had to back off tremendously. Right now, he's right there behind us. He's gonna try and take it to the inside. He tries to go for it, but he will not be able to get the move done. But let's see, as we come out of the corner here, we'll keep an eye on him. He's gonna have the DRS possibly, but we do need to use a little bit of our overtake here, so we use quite a bit of it, despite the fact that we said we were going to save it. Let's see if we can get anywhere close to here, as now there's a battle for the lead, as George Russell and Max Verstappen are going to go toe-to-toe at it. George Russell thinks better of it and decides to file back in line. But the more that Max Verstappen and George Russell battle, that'll give us a chance to catch up a little bit closer. And once we're in DRS range, they're going to have to be really careful. They're going to have to be really cautious around us. Ah, no! Come on, game. Could you please stop getting loose? We had a better time. We had a much better time here last time. God. So right now, Max Verstappen leads. George Russell is second. We're third. Sergio Perez is fourth. And our teammate Charles Leclerc is currently in the 5th position. You can see right now we're struggling on this set of tires, but we still got the pit stop that we got to do, and we need to get on the hards, because I feel like once we're on the hards, strangely enough, I think we're going to be okay. So let's see. We have definitely closed the gap a little bit, but we don't have any more overtake. Because once again, I just realized that we used up all of it again. Oh, here comes Sergio Perez again, so we have nothing that we can use to defend, but maybe we can use the power of this car. Oh boy. Well, I can definitely say that we're not...
starting to create a gap.
Oh, here comes Sergio Perez. He goes to the outside, tried to make something happen, didn't get it done. But I definitely think that now for the rest of the race, we're kind of screwed in the water. Which means our only hope right now would have to be on the pit stops. Because we used up plenty of overtake, unfortunately. But look at this. We've closed the gap now tremendously on George Russell and Max Verstappen. So the big question now is, can we make the pass on them? Well, not like that. But the big question is, can we make the pass on them at some point? I really don't know, because right now, everything that is going bad here is exactly what I was afraid of. In fact, the only reason why I added this track back in the calendar in the first place...
Are you okay? That was a nasty hit. Turn the engine off and wait for the marshals.
Really? 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 Anyway, the only reason why I added this race back anyway was because of the fact that, you know, it's a good it's a good track, but right now it's proving to be a very frustrating track for me. Now, here's the thing too I'm noticing. I'm on the mediums, and right now they are on the softs, so that means we are actually slowly closing the gap on George Russell and these guys, despite the fact that the first 22 minutes of this race have been nothing but flashbacks, so it makes this race extremely long. It's gonna be really nice here with everything. We still don't have enough overtake to really do anything with it, but if we could just keep the pressure up on these guys, we should be okay. As now comes Sergio Perez again. Perez is going to try everything again to make a pass. Unfortunately, our teammate Leclerc has fallen back a little bit. Oh my god. Seems like there's an interesting deal with the Red Bulls. It seems like that Sergio Perez does not have the torque that he needs, but look at this. He's going to have the DRS, but it's not going to be anything. George Russell now goes to the race lead, but Max Verstappen is going to try and get it on the inside. But nope, it looks like Verstappen has lost the lead to Russell, so it's currently the Butler in the race lead, the Dutchman in second, the American in third, the Mexican in fourth, and the British person, I believe? The British one in fifth. How's that for a little something cool? Let's use a little bit of that overtake a little bit, just to get us a little bit closer. But yeah, these guys, I can see Verstappen is starting to struggle a little bit on these softer tires.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
Well, I got a ton of concerns there, Jeff, because these tires are worthless. and we can't even do anything because the rear end is just so out of whack. Maybe what we need to do is we need to work on the front end a
Our gap
little
to
bit.
the car in front is 1.8 seconds.
You know what? I feel like the front end is just going to need to be messed with. Let me see. Front disc brakes. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit there in the front end and see what we can do. So right now our pit stop is slated for the other side, as now Sergio Perez is going to try and go to the inside. He gives us a little pit. Oh boy. Alright, we got to use a little bit of our overtake here to try and get ahead of him, and we do.
We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time.
Alright, that's good. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen has retaken the race lead, but because of that little scuffle we had there with Sergio Perez, we've lost some ground. So I think the second that our pit window opens, we will absolutely be coming to pit road, getting off these medium tires, going to the
Red Bull
hard.
drivers just completed a pass for the lead.
Alright, thank you. So basically, we're going to be coming off of these medium tires and going to the hards, and then we'll see how it all plays out, because I think if we come in early enough, then we can pull an undercut on these guys. Because rather than coming in late, like we usually would in a pit stop situation while we're leading, we might as well try something to get ahead of them, because I have a feeling we are not going to get the fastest lap report, which I think will snap a streak that was set after the F1 2021 season. Alright, now let's see how we do here as we make our way through the corner. I did give a little bit. Oh, I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting really frustrated. You know, it's funny because I had a video that was set to be released from the last season that we were doing before my other PSN got hacked and stolen. That was called Here Come the Suez. I think that's what's going to be happening here, is that if we have to do this, if we have to keep doing this, I'm going to be swearing a lot. Is now Sergio Perez is now going to the outside. Is he going to have enough to get us? Ooh, he gave us just quite a little thing there, but wow. God. See, again, we're losing the rear end too many times, as now Verstappen comes to pit road. So Max Verstappen is pulling the undercut right now. So that puts us in second place. George Russell currently has the lead. So now what is this going to mean? If he's come into his pit stall this early, ooh, I really wonder what strategy he's on. I think he's going to be on the other strategy of doing the softs and then going to the mediums, which is going to be very tricky to do. So right now, George Russell has a 2.5 second lead ahead of us. Hopefully we can regain some of our overtake as we come out pit road. Ay ay ay! I'm getting really fed up with this track, and I don't understand this car whatsoever. Like, why do we keep losing the rear end? Why is the rear end so junked? It's so bad. Like, is it really because of the fact that that it's the low downforce, and so the lower we can't do anything in the rear? Because if that's the case, that's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. I continuously forget that the DRS is on. And unfortunately, this place is one of the worst places to lose a lot of DRS, too. So here we are.
In this lap, push now.
So now we are gonna finally be able to come to pit road and get on to the hard tires. Looks like Perez and Hamilton have come in as well. So this is rather interesting. So an interesting strategy call here. So we'll have to see what happens now. Looks like Ocon is going to get the undercut done because he's on the hard tires from the looks of it. But I'm not sure what his strategy was all about. Now, hopefully we do not double stack, and we finally get a warning for corner cutting. But as you can see, we have now closed the gap, which means I think we're going to be coming in at the same time George Russell is. So that means we could absolutely take the fight to him once we get on the hards. Because see how he's on the softs? That means now his next tire is going to have to be another set of softs, which is going to be a pain in the butt for him, which also means, too, that they're going to need to make another stop. I mean, I don't think he's going to go from the softs to the hards, because that would be a strange strategy, for sure. Now, we could try to, you know, go one extra lap, but these tires are just crap. So we are definitely coming to pit road this time by, I think. But you know what? If he's coming to pit road now, yeah, we're going to follow him in. We're going to follow him in. So we're now on pit road at the same time George Russell is. So now let's see who gets to come out of pit road first. Off come the mediums, on go the hards. Let's see what happens as we come out of pit road.
No problems, really smooth. Ferrari, no doubt, very happy with that stop.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we just get out right behind George Russell.
Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound.
But amazing how the game is giving the advantage over to George Russell. But now, since we have the hard tires on, this could actually put us in very good hands, because now we can actually defend against these. Plus, we're going to get some overtake back, which is good news. And then we'll see what happens here. Now, because he's... oh, fuck me. Now, you know, let's go back and replay that, because the car just got caught up on the stupid curve. So now, I believe that we will be basically 1-2 here with Russell, but let's see what we can do, because he's going to catch up to some slower traffic for sure with some of these other cars. But because of the fact that some of them did the undercut, the harder tires are definitely going to show that they're going to be superior for this race. So let's just keep an eye on him. And let's also make sure that we don't use too much overtake at this point, because we need a lot more. We need it back. I mean, we got back to about 40% after the pit stop, which is good news. Which is extremely good news, but we need more. So now Leclerc is in the pits.
Charles is in the pits.
Alrighty, good for him. So now let's see what happens here with this, because he should have the DRS, and that's him right there trying to get around Lando Norris. We're going to use our own DRS for this. Oh, couldn't get it done. Oh, wait. It's hard to tell, because he's just kind of all over the place now, but it looks like Russell will get around Lando Norris.
Push. Gap to the car behind. 3.3 seconds.
God, we keep losing the rear end here so badly. Get around Lando Norris here. Use a little bit of our overtake. Ooh, I saw a little bit of dust coming off of George Russell's car, but it made me think that he had an engine problem or something. Slowly keeping the fight here to George Russell. Russell's ahead of us right now by just 0.5 of a second. If we can just keep this as close as we can to him, there's a good chance that we can use a good amount of DRS once we get close enough to... You know, for 2 cents, I'm about ready to smash this car into the wall and just be done with this race, but I'm very... In fact, right now we do have a little bit of DRS, but that's not going to be helpful to us. But now let's see what we can do here. Close the gap now to 0.5 of a second. Going to use a little bit of overtake. Just a little bit. Not too much, because we need a lot of it to get around George Russell here. Let's see what happens as we go into the corner. We're gonna make a big bold move to the inside. Kind of give him a little bit of a little rough housing there.
Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place.
Now Max Verstappen goes to the point, but look at that! We have taken back the fastest lap. So that'll be very helpful to us at a 1:34.670. I know that overtake was probably a little bit on the dirty side, but you know what? We had to do something. And also, we had to take the overtake. I mean, if this was real life, then guess what would have happened? I pretty much would have had my ass handed to me. In fact, the FIA would probably be shitting their pants right now. So now it's just me and Max Verstappen. Now, with the fact that we do have the extra point on our side, here's the good news. No matter where we finish, we will have that extra point, which will, in turn, help us in the point standings. Because that extra point will come in handy. So now let's see if we can chase down Max Verstappen here. He's on the medium tires, so those tires are going to start wearing out here pretty quickly. As we saw when I was on the hards we're on right now. Nice and tidy through that corner. As you can see, the car is actually more stable, which is good news. But you know, Max Verstappen is very good speed-wise. Let's see if we can even catch him. That's the next thing, is trying to catch this son of a gun. Because he's got clear track ahead of us. We can use a little bit of our overtake here to try and see if we can close the gap. Because we do have a pretty speedy little car. So we close it down to about 1.5 seconds. Or about 1.2 seconds. Now we just gotta be super careful going through here and just see where he's picking up the throttle. Because the closer we are, the better chance we have of doing some DRS damage. Of course, I messed up right there. Again! That's a little better. Try to keep as close as we can to him without, you know, screwing things over. Had to do a little bit of just feathering the gas right here. Put that little thingy up there to see how we're doing. And I can see that the ICU is really going to become a problem. In fact, we may have to switch over to the other, we may have to switch engines when it comes to the other race, but who knows. But right now, we are within striking distance of Max Verstappen. We have the DRS, but it's not going to do anything here. We've got to get through the next little corner here. Decided to brake a little bit earlier, and now we're right here behind Max Verstappen. Can we make the pass on him going into the final corner? There's still plenty of time here, but he's going to go defensive. We're going to go to the outside, see if we can try and make a pass on the outside. Here we go to the final corner, taking it nice and high, keeping Max Verstappen way to the bottom, and now put us into the race lead here at Saudi Arabia, the Jeddah circuit. This is the first time all day that we have now put ourselves in the race lead, but here comes Max Verstappen on the outside. Is he going to get it? He's not going to get it. He had to really jam on the brakes there to try and avoid getting us into a sticky situation. But boy, oh boy, look at that. Sometimes being a little patient and with a little bit of strategy and a little practice, it can definitely take you places. But now, we need to hold that race lead. We need to hold this lead as best we can. And now that we're out in front, now we can focus primarily on our racing line. In fact, I just basically created a new part of the track right there. So now, all we gotta do is just be mindful of the track itself, as we are now inside of 7 laps to go at this point. Or actually, I think it's 8 laps to go. Whoops. But yeah, I'll be glad to get out of this track, but the next track we're gonna go to is the Miami circuit. which that one I'm a little concerned about, but we'll see how well we do there. But every lap we're slowly gaining more and more overtake, which will help us out quite a bit in case we gotta, galley back and, get the fastest lap award again. Now, I'm not sure what happened to my teammate Charles Leclerc, but as you can see right now, we have the race lead. Max Verstappen is second. George Russell is currently in the third spot. Lando Norris fourth, and Lewis Hamilton showing a wheel in. Nope, actually make that my teammate Charles Leclerc. Now make that Hamilton fifth. So right now my teammates and Hamilton are battling right now on track for that fifth spot, and I hope that Leclerc can get that fifth spot, because right now as it stands, only the lead manufacturers are going to get their names, or are going to get the podium points, because nobody's going to get a double podium point, unfortunately. I mean, unless, Leclerc can, pick up a bunch of positions, or we get a virtual safety car or something, or for that matter, a caution for that matter. Otherwise, right now, it's going to be really weird what the point standings will look like. So far, getting around here. We're actually hugging the track a little bit better, except for that part of the track. In fact, I actually kind of forgot where we were in a sec. I actually forgot kind of where we were, which is really strange. But I think it's just because I'm just tired of this race. I want it to be done, because we had to use so many flashbacks, so many bits and pieces to try and make sure that we didn't get too screwed up here with this race. This is definitely going to be one long racing video, that's for sure. Well, we've gained back about half of our overtake, but we still need a little bit more. And also, to give you guys a little idea of how we gain back overtake, we gain it back through the turns as we brake or let off the gas.
Teammate behind is 8.3 seconds.
So as you can see, every time that I'm off the gas or go through the corner, you'll see that we gain back a little bit, but then you'll see that the car sucks it back once we are on a straightaway. So just keep an eye on that and just watch that while I just make my way through this sector. Got through there a lot better, which is great. Now, are we going to catch up to some lap traffic? Barely, but I don't think we're going to catch anybody at this point, because I can see one of the Haas cars is way in the back. But right now, I don't see us actually catching them, unless something weird happens. But right now, no spins from Lewis Hamilton, so that's a good thing. Because we had some unnecessary red flags, back there, back at Bahrain, or red flag, I should say. But right now, this looks like that it's going to be 3 different cars on the podium: us, Verstappen, and George Russell. Which I'm starting to think that George Russell's going to be the dominant Mercedes out of the bunch, and I have a feeling that we're going to have to really keep an eye out for him. Let's just see what happens. If we now open it up to a 2.3 second lead ahead of Max Verstappen. My teammate seems to have stayed quiet right now, as he's not challenging Lewis Hamilton for that 5th spot, which is quite weird. Oh, as soon as I say that, he now pops up there, but now Perez is also showing something, so they must be having a how do you do moment. They must be they must be going back and forth in the DRS zone or something, as I now have a little hard time getting through there. But it seems like in my worst spot, I'm actually gaining more ground. So I think I can actually get out of the corners a lot better than some of these people can. But as you can see, we are up to 75% on the overtake, which is great. We might use it a little bit. I mean, we might need a little bit of it in case I make a big old faux pas, but right now it doesn't look like it. So now Sergio Perez is showing in the 5th position. Hopefully Leclerc can get back ahead of him. Nice and tidy through these corners. Nice and tidy. Make our way into the final corner here. Let's just make it be good. There we go. Nice and easy through there. Use a little bit of our overtake since we have some now. See if we can open up the gap a little bit to Max Verstappen. There's no way that he can catch us now, so he's pretty much got sole possession of second place because, like I said, the DRS works whenever you're within 1 second of the car in front of you.
Okay, that's us with 5 laps of fuel remaining. 5 laps of fuel left.
Well, we got 4 laps to go now, so this has definitely become the strategy, and you can see that our tires are starting to wear just a little bit. So that means these tires are going to start handling as if they're like, you know, mediums. But we'll see, because right now, whoa boy. So right now, we're still opening the gap to about 3 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen. And I'll tell you, Lando Norris is having a grand old time there in 4th place. Not sure who his teammate Oscar Piastri is, but nice to see them up there. But I do have a feeling that in the Constructors' Championship, the Red Bulls are going to really close the gap on us, especially since my teammate Leclerc is nowhere to be found in the top 5. But at least he can get a top 10 and get some points. So it's definitely going to be a double points day for the Ferraris, but just not a double podium day. Which is never, you know, kind of sad. But hey, we still got like 14 races left in this year, so you know, there's plenty of opportunities, including when we go to Monza to, you know, put us up there, and some other places as well too, as now Sergio Perez goes back on the 5th position, it looks like. Going back around the stripe, we will now have 3 laps to go at the line. And you know what? I'm gonna promise you guys this: if something bad were to happen, I'm going to be removing this track from the calendar. Like, I'm going to make sure that it's no longer there.
Take button more. It's time to utilize some of this energy. Come on.
Well, we don't really need to use it right now, and now there's been a change for position as now George Russell falls out of the podium spot and now put Lando Norris in P3. So a Ferrari, a Red Bull, and a McLaren currently on the podium. See what happens as the rest of this goes on, because we'll soon be into just 3 laps to go at this point. In fact, I said 3 laps earlier. We are actually on 4 laps to go. So right now, George Russell is going to try and make something happen to get around Lando Norris. I don't know if he can, but we'll see as you watch the ticker on the left side of the screen while we make our way through the corner. And now it feels like the hard tires are really gripping. They're really, really gripping right now towards the end of this race. Like, they actually feel nice. They feel good. They feel nice. Let's go ahead and use a little bit of our overtake here, just to kind of have a little fun.
Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps.
Oh, that's fine, because now we're on to just 3 laps to go. So we should be good. So we should be fine here for the fuel itself. We'll just have to be really cautious here, as now George Russell goes back onto the podium. It's going to be a good battle here between Lando Norris and George Russell. Now Norris goes back to the point of 3rd place, and Sergio Perez is going to probably get sole possession of 5th. Sole possession of 5th, I should say, not sole position. Still have a good gap here between us and Verstappen behind us. Now, because we have within, like, since we're almost 2 laps to go, I am saving a little bit of fuel. That's why I'm not, using the, that's why I'm not using my overtake right now. Because the thing that I want to do is that I want to be careful with this, because I remember one of the years we almost ran out of fuel. The last thing I want to do is to get up here to the top position and then suddenly run out of fuel. So I'm coasting through some of these corners just to kind of save a little bit. So that's one way how you can save fuel, is just coast through these corners and you'll be fine. We make our way down the straightaway into the final corner. When we come across the line, there'll be 2 laps to go. There'll be 2 laps to go here at the Jeddah circuit. And it'll be right there where we've now crossed the line. Like I said, this is definitely going to be a very long video because of all the flashbacks we have to do, and hopefully when we get to Miami, there will not be as many flashbacks used, because I'm going to make doubly sure that that this car is, you know, stout and ready to go. And also too, I did run an extra practicing session early on while getting this video recorded. So we'll have a little extra resource points to go with us, which means we'll be able to do some major adjustments with this car, I believe. So there's a big gap between second place and third place. So Max Verstappen's definitely going to finish in the second position. Meanwhile, George Russell, Lando Norris, and Sergio Perez are going to battle it out for the podium. But I have a feeling Norris might be able to get him, but I don't know. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, up here at the front, we are just clean sailing here, as we're almost to a 5-second lead ahead of Max Verstappen. But as we start to come out of the straightaway, and now
2 laps of fuel left.
Well, that's fine, because you know what? That means we'll have enough for the fuel sample that they take at the end of the race. As we come off of the final corner, here we go. White flag is out, presented by Ally Bank. This is the white flag. Thank the Lord in heaven.
Okay, mate, final lap. Keep your concentration and let's bring it home.
Yep, let's see if we can continue the streak of actually winning these races. Nice and easy through here. We just have to be really careful now. And thank God we only have to go through these things one more time, which we are right now. Had to really drop a gear there. But thank God we are almost done with this race, because believe me, this was one of the more tricky races that we've done so far. And it also shows a little bit of patience and perseverance, including a little touch of, you know, a little rubbish racing, I guess. Definitely goes a long way. Now I will say though, if that was Lewis Hamilton that we passed back there when we passed George Russell for the supposed race lead, I think the FIA would have already killed me and sent my casket upriver, because, you know, favoritism, I guess. But anyway, down the final straightaway, and we're going to be heading our way into the final deal from 5th to the lead, fastest lap as well. So not quite the trifecta. But coming out of the final corner, we will take Ferrari to the winner's circle here at Saudi Arabia. Whew! Beautiful.
Ah, fantastic drive. That's just fantastic. Amazing. You deserved that race win. Well done, mate.
Ah, thank you guys. Lando Norris got driver of the day. Well, I guess that's fair.
And here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Ferme after a fantastic race. Well, Anthony,
there's our
resounding
team.
victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again.
Yep, very, very, very well done. There's our team. And yeah, George Russell got the final spot on the podium. Wow. So I have a feeling that these three here, us and them, are going to be the drivers that we have to face when it comes down to Abu Dhabi, I bet.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. The scientist increases their championship lead. Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to give it to the scientist.
It's time to check
What?
out the constructors' standings. Ferrari continue to extend the gap at the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, as you can see, we've extended our point gap to 16 points, but then if you take a look over here, we now have a 17-point lead ahead of the Red Bull team. But my God, my teammate Charles Leclerc finishing 7th. Yikes. So he fell back, and he must have lost a position to Lewis Hamilton. But let's see, was it even any close? No, it looks like George Russell got it handily. Lance Stroll got up there, and there's Oscar Piastri. And look at Pierre Gasly. That's good. That's a good result for him. That's really good. Everybody did good today. All right. Well, our next race is going to be set for the Miami GP. And boy, we definitely got quite a few things that we can work on this car. So me and the boys back at R&D are going to take care of that. But until next time, make sure you hit the like button, don't forget to comment, and also subscribe. I'll see you guys next time for the Miami GP. Until then, take care.